Hello, I am the Brace Police. I put your teeth behind bars. I am going to talk about what are metal braces and how do you distinguish between which one's the right one for you and everything about metal braces basically. Let's start with what exactly is a brace. A brace is a really small, tiny appliance that the orthodontist or the braces specialist or aka brace police attaches onto your teeth. And because of that, what can happen is that we can move your teeth in any different direction. But let's talk about what metal braces are, what options you have. Now, the metal braces are two types: are conventional braces and self-ligating braces. So, conventional braces are basically the ones that we've been using over the years for the longest time, and self-ligating braces are something that are relatively new. They're something that have come very recently, like maybe over the last 5 to 7 years into the market. And I'm going to tell you what the difference between them is. So now for any brace to basically start working, you have to have two things. You've got to have the brace which is stuck onto your teeth, and every teeth has a different brace which is put on by your orthodontist, and you've got to have the wire. And when you mix these two babies together, you have magic. So what happens is the wire and the brace act together, one plus one, and they make 100% of how your teeth are going to start moving. If you have just braces or just wires, it's not really going to happen. So you've got to have the two together. The difference between the conventional braces and the self-ligating braces are basically how these two things get together. Honestly, it's nothing more than that. Conventional braces, or braces which we used to use, the way that the wire and the brace got together was with an additional item, which was a small little rubber band, which you could tie these two things together. Like there's a brace, and then you put the wire in, and to put it together, you have a little small rubber band around it, or you've got like a metal thread which you tighten. Now, what has happened over the years is that we have evolved the way that we do the treatment by changing the way that the brace actually is. So what has changed is not really the wire, but actually the component that gets stuck onto your teeth. What happens is the new self-ligating braces have windows or clips that catch the wire themselves. So you don't really need a third component, which is a O-ring, or the wire gets stuck into the brace without any kind of uh, third component. Or why is that important? Why is that like an evolutionary step? Because if you've got a window which is closing instead of having something which is really tight and rubbery onto it, what happens is that the wire is not very tight into the brace. And that is what the difference is between the conventional and the self-ligating. The tightness of the wire and the way the wire slips into the braces is why both of them are different. If the wire is easier slipping into the braces, the treatment is faster. You have less plaque accumulation around your teeth. You've got clean teeth. You've got lesser pain because it's not as tight now, and it's much more smoother. So I've seen a big difference between conventional and self-ligating braces. However, I'd like to say that conventional braces have been a milestone in any kind of orthodontic treatment, and we still use them. We've got patients coming to us who use conventional braces, and they are amazing results that are seen from them. So do not worry about which one you've got to choose. It's all about your priorities, how fast you want the treatment to go, because self-ligating braces do it much faster. We will get into that in another video probably. Now I want to talk about the color that we put on the braces. Oh my God! So the color on the So the color on the braces are basically just the third component that I was talking about, which is the rubber band that you put onto it. Conventional braces were not really fun to begin with, but with time, we kind of like figured out that we can make this a little more fun by making the rubber bands on top colorful, or so there are two types of rubber bands that come into play. That is, one is the single ones which go on each teeth. Now the advantage of that is that you get to choose different colors for different teeth if you may. Most people just go for like one color throughout, but I've got kids who come to me who just want a different color on the top and a different color on the bottom, and they just have all kinds of fun with it. I will leave a link in the description below of a doctor from Thailand, I think, who has a lot of videos on how to choose the color of your brace. So you can have a look. Now, if you're going for self-ligating braces, we're also going to get into what metal braces can correct, what kind of funky teeth can be corrected by metal braces. Honestly, anything can be corrected with metal braces because those are the braces that have, like stood the test of time. They've been around for ages, and they have just done everything. If you've got a teeth that is inside your bone, if you've got a teeth that got teeth with spaces, if you've got teeth which are wonky up and down, all of that can be corrected by metal braces. Um, the difference between conventional and self-ligating when you choose from them is just about how much time can you spend with these braces on, and how easy you want your treatment to be. So there is definitely a cost difference between the metal conventional braces and the self-ligating braces. Metal conventional braces in India come up to about, they start from about 20,000, and they can go up to about 35 to 40,000 depending on what brand you're selecting. The self-ligating braces can start from about 40,000 to about 60,000 rupees is what I know of. Getting into the brands of the braces available in metal, the best brand that I've worked with is 3M braces in the conventional range, and we also have the Damon braces in the self-ligating range. So honestly, it's not about what brand you go for. It also depends on what kind of doctor you have, how much experience they have with braces in general. They're going to be the ones that you need to choose with the brand of the braces as well. So yeah, that's what I have to say all about metal braces, and I will definitely make subsequent videos to break down more of this topic and also add more to it. So if you've got any questions, any queries, anything, we have our email ID below in the description box. So just shoot us your questions or leave a comment, subscribe, and wait for more videos.